Ashley Little as she welcomes her guest to the table.
Welcome to Creating Your Seat at the Table. I am your host, Ashley Little. A little bit about myself: corporate professional by day, entrepreneur by night, 5-time best-selling author, CEO and founder of Ashley Little Enterprises, LLC, owner and creator of Creative Broadcasting, and co-founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network, LLP. Tonight we have an amazing special VIP guest by the name of Dr. Isfahan Chambers-Harris. A little bit about her. Dr. Isfahan was born to revolutionize the hair care industry. With a background in biomedical sciences and a passion for healthy hair, she combined her skills and knowledge into the creation of Alodia, an innovative care line that is poised to take hair care to the next level. Dr. Chambers earned her Bachelor of Science degree in biology from the City University of New York, Medgar Evers College in 2004. She then went on to complete her Ph.D. in biomedical sciences at the Cardiovascular Research Institute at Morehouse School of Medicine in Atlanta, Georgia. Upon graduation, she entered her postdoctoral fellowship at Vanderbilt School of Medicine, conducting research on autoimmune disease. While at Vanderbilt, Dr. Isfahan, she also completed a Master's of Public Health degree. Presently, she is a Presidential Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math Fellow at the National Institute of Health in Bethesda, Maryland. Alodia is the result of Dr. Chambers' personal hair care journey that began several years ago. Suffering from damage, breakage, and dryness, Dr. Chambers-Harris decided to go natural. During the transition stage, she began crafting products in her kitchen that will help grow, nourish, and condition her multi-textured hair. After consistently testing her products and seeing the amazing results she achieved with her own hair, she knew she was onto something and decided to bring her formulations to the masses with a launch of, and I hope I'm saying it right, Alodia. In addition
Alodia.
To hair care, Alodia, yes. In addition to hair care products, Dr. Chambers-Harris plans to create healthy skin care and baby care products for consumers seeking quality natural products. Another area that Dr. Chambers is extremely passionate about is philanthropy and humanitarian issues. Alodia will align itself with nonprofits who deal with causes and diseases that resonate with Dr. Chambers-Harris' personal mission to heal and help those in need around the world. Currently, she is collaborating with the Sisters Network for Breast Cancer Survivors, D.C. chapter, where she has given seminars on how to grow healthy hair after chemo. She is also interested in working with disadvantaged youth that has an interest in the science, technology, engineering, and math professions. Dr. Chambers-Harris and her husband, Dr. Rashad Dupree-Harris, M.D., are the proud parents of beautiful twin toddlers and currently reside in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. Welcome to the table, the amazing Dr. Isfahan.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate that.
You are welcome. So you have an amazing bio, Dr. Isfahan. So tell us more about your entrepreneur journey.
Yeah, so I would say Alodia's story pretty much starts about 10 years ago. And at the time, I was a student, like you mentioned in my bio, and I struggled with just damaged hair, damaged scalp. I used chemical straighteners for a good 15 years, and it just ravaged my hair. So I said, I'm a scientist. I like to create products, body products and things like that. Let me try to venture into creating a hair care product for myself, and that's exactly what I did. So I created my very first product. It was an oil that's actually still in my line today. It's the Nourish and Grow Healthy Hair and Scalp Oil. And I used it consistently, I would say, for about 3 months, and it completely changed the way my hair felt. No longer was it breaking. No longer was my scalp extremely itchy. It actually started, my hair actually started to retain length. And I was, back then I was really excited about launching a line, but what I quickly realized when I did my research is that it takes a lot of capital to, put a line out there. And me as a broke student, there was no way that I could create a line. So what I decided to do was just to create a free YouTube channel. I called it Alodia. I talked to women like myself that was struggling to grow healthy hair, and I did that for about a period of 3 years. And then once I got into my career as a scientists, and my husband was in his career, we said, okay, let's allocate some money to really getting serious and creating the line. And it took me about 3 to 4 years to create the full line that we have out today. And in 2017 of March is when we officially launched. So that's pretty much in a nutshell, like how I started this entrepreneurial journey.
I love that. And so let's talk more about your passion for healthy hair, right? I know that you pretty much started creating as a student, right? So you talk more about, what really sparked that, creation of Alodia.
Yeah, it basically stemmed off of the fact that if you think back, like 10 years ago, like maybe 9 years ago, like 2010, 2011, if you think back to the hair care landscape at that time, there were a lot of products that were, number one, organic and natural, and number two, catered towards our more coilier, curlier hair texture. A lot of the products that were on market back then, they were filled with toxic ingredients and things like that. So, me being in a medical school such as my wonderful alma mater, Morehouse School of Medicine, and learning about the disease process and understanding that within the Black community, particularly with Black women, that we tend to have autoimmune diseases and things that affect our bodies because of what we're putting in our bodies as well as on our bodies. So just being in that environment and understanding the disease process can start with what you're putting on your body. I really wanted to create a line that would be organic and natural for brown and Black women to use. And that's where, my passion started, along with the fact that I was struggling. If someone goes on my website, they'll see my hair was really, really thin, see-through, and it barely reached my shoulders. So just wanting to, create a product that could help me with retaining length, as well as wanting to create products that were healthy for the body. That's where my passion started.
I love that. I want to commend you for creating that space, right? Because this is so important that we have, healthy hair and that we're taking care of ourselves. Because, when we're taking care of ourselves and, with our hair and our bodies, we feel better, right? So
exactly.
Thank you for creating that space.
Oh, thank you. And I'm one of many. There's a lot of us Black women entrepreneurs that are extremely successful, and we're taking it to the next level. So I feel very honored to be in this space with a lot of other Black and brown women.
I love it. So tell us more about your company, Alodia. Tell us more about it. Tell us more about it, and what type of different products you have, and how we can support and purchase your products.
Sure. So Alodia, as you probably know, and your audience does as well, is, 2010, 2009, it wasn't a lot of products on market. But then as the time progressed, 2013, 2014, the market started getting really saturated, actually, with different types of products and things of that nature. So around that time, around 2014, is when I really was in my career and creating my products in my kitchen. And what I chose to do was to take the products that I created, and I would go to vending events and farmers markets. And, of course, I wanted to sell products, but also my major goal was to talk to my customer base. So I would always ask the question for about 3 years. So I talked to hundreds of women over the 3-year process of creating products. And I would always ask them, what are the problems that you have with your hair care routine? And what started to emerge from those conversations was the fact that women were overwhelmed and confused when picking products. So, it's not like 2009, 2010 anymore. It's 2014. Market is saturated. They go into a Target. They see an aisle worth of products, but they don't know what to choose. So they would go off of, let's say, a friend's recommendation or how a product smells. And on average, my customer was spending about $1,000 a year, and the products weren't really working for them. So they end up with a whole bunch of products that they've used once or twice, and it's like, they're not working for me. They're not really organic and natural. They're not really helping my health, so they kind of are wasting money. So they really wanted a product that that was easy for them to use and kind of took the guesswork out of having healthy hair. So I said, maybe, you know, Alodia could fill that niche, and that's exactly what we did. So our best sellers are what I call our style kits, and our style kits are based on the style that you want to create. So, for example, you know, a popular style is a wash and go. So we have a wash and go kit, and in that kit you get 4 full-size products and an easy step-by-step guide. So we're basically streamlining the wash, condition, and style process and taking the guesswork out of having healthy hair. So we have about 4 kits right now, and we're coming out with 2 more kits by the end of the year. And this is all fueled by our customer base telling us what they want. So so that's like something that makes our product line extremely different than what's on the market right now, is that we're really, really trying to make it easy for our customer.
I like that because that's so important, right? Because like you said, the industry is full of different product lines, so you want to make it, you want to stand out and be different from everybody else. So thank you for creating that, because that's the customer service is so important when we're trying to figure out what products we want to use. So that's so
exactly. And our customer is a professional woman. She might be a mom or, you know, a wife, a professional career woman, and they just don't have the time to, like, look up on YouTube and Instagram and see what works. They just need products to actually work, and that kind of, you know, streamlines it for them. So that's exactly what Alodia is doing, in addition to having organic, all-natural products that help with the growth of your hair as well.
I love that. So let's talk about healthy hair, because that's so important, right?
Right.
And, you know, I know you can give the listeners some tips on that. So what are some healthy hair tips you would give to our listeners in order to make sure they keep that healthy hair?
Sure. So I always say that healthy hair is hair that's filled with moisture. A lot of times with our hair type particularly, which is more of a coilier, curlier texture, we lack moisture just on a genetic level, and then also the product that we're putting on our hair blocks moisture. So you really, really have to get that moisture in your hair. Now, how do you do that? So I like to say that God's moisture is water. So you have to get your hair underneath water at least once a week. And I think that kind of turns the myth on its head. I know with me growing up, we didn't wash our hair once a week. We might have washed it twice in a month, or, you know, we didn't want water touching our hair because we wanted to wear it straight and, you know, that type of thing. But in order for curly hair to be really, really healthy, it needs to get under water. And I always recommend that you wash your hair once a week. And then in addition to that, you have to use conditioning products that actually impart moisture onto the hair. So, you know, of course, using a very healthy, lightweight oil is really important. Using a conditioning shampoo that doesn't contain sulfates that actually strip your hair of moisture, that's another key point that's important. And then also using deep conditioning masks and stylers that are full with moisture so that your hair is soft and pliable and, like, not breaking. That's so, so important. And like I said, with us, we're trying to make it easy for you guys. So even if you are getting confused with the steps that you need to take, you can just look on our website. We have kits. The kits come with all the products you need to really get your hair healthy. And they come with all the 4 products that you need, plus the step-by-step guide. So you don't even have to worry about doing, like, a whole bunch of research and becoming a scientist. You can just get one of our kits, and we'll help you to get your hair to its healthy state.
So for our listeners that are listening, you need to look into Alodia and definitely support Dr. Isfahan's natural hair care line, because she has pretty much something for everybody, right? And she actually has products for healthy hair, damaged hair, all textures. So definitely connect with her, because she is creating a space that is definitely needed, definitely for, like you stated, the professional woman was myself. We don't have time, right? So we have to be able to have, you know, it right there, it broken down, to know what we need to get done so we can just go ahead and purchase it and move forward.
Exactly.
So, Dr. Isfahan, what are some tips you would give to listeners who are thinking about going natural but are afraid to take the journey?
Yeah, that's a good question. Just, I guess, a little bit of background about my natural hair journey. Like I said, I had a relaxer for about 15 years. Didn't know anything about, like, taking care of natural hair. So what I decided to do was to slowly transition out my relaxed hair. And I get the question all the time to the point of how could a woman turn her relaxed hair into natural hair? And the unfortunate thing is, not really unfortunate, but it's just, a fact of life, you can't really turn relaxed hair into natural hair. The only way you can go natural is either doing something called a big chop, which is essentially cutting off all those relaxed ends, or you can transition long term, which is slowly growing out the relaxed hair and having your natural hair come out from the roots. So for me, because I didn't want to go so drastic, I decided to do a long-term transition, and I did it for a period of about a year and a half. So when you're doing long-term transition, it's a bit more trickier than if you just big chop, because you don't have to worry about taking care of the two textures. So, if you do a big chop, you just cut off those relaxed ends, and then you can start to nourish your natural hair that's naturally coming out of your scalp. But if you do a long-term transition, I always recommend that you do what we call protective styles. So styles where you're not really manipulating your hair, because as your natural hair is growing out of your scalp, you can get breakage where that natural hair meets the relaxed ends. And you don't want to start off with damaged hair. So you just have to do protective styles like buns or two-strand twists are really good. If you're doing what I call tension styles like wigs and weaves and things like that, try to do that sparse, like not too much, because that puts too much tension and you can lose hair. But definitely do like protective styling. And once again, nourishing and washing and conditioning your hair once a week is key to maintaining, the health of that natural hair coming out of your scalp.
Now, with the natural hair, because I know listeners probably want to, this is something that a listener probably wants to know. When you're going natural, everybody does not embrace the fro, right? And so they may be natural, and they might be the person that gets the blowout every 2 weeks. What are your thoughts on that? Because is that healthy, or is that okay, as long as they're getting it treated, or, as long as they're keeping their conditioners and stuff? What are your thoughts on that?
So I always say, look at the condition of your hair, and then also make sure that you're not doing what I call like double damage. Like if you are someone that likes to straighten your hair, by all means straighten it. I do recommend that it's every 2 weeks, and we do have a heat style kit that comes with a heat protectant that's very, very important when you're heat training or heat styling your hair. But make sure that the condition, like when you're starting off with heat styling your hair, that it's actually in a healthy state. If your hair is colored, I wouldn't recommend that you're doing heat styling often, because coloring also manipulates the curl pattern of your hair as well and can cause damage. So you don't want to do double things that can cause harm to your hair. If you are someone that likes to do heat styling, I recommend staying away from the color and just doing heat styling. If you like color, then, do your color, because I like color as well, but wear your hair more in its natural state. I don't like to do two things at once to the hair, because you can really damage the integrity of the hair strand. So you just have to be conscious of the condition of the hair when you're doing heat styling.
I love that, because I'm sure it was some listeners that wanted to, know more about that, because, sometimes we think we're doing the best thing, but we're not. And getting those conditioners and those treatments, those things are so important to keeping that healthy hair, right? And
yes,
making sure our ends are clipped, too. That's another thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you're going to do things like coloring and heat styling. I always say when you don't have, like, those types of things that actually manipulate the curl pattern, like coloring and heat styling, you can get away with a little bit more. But if you're coloring, like I like to put, light brown color and like highlights and things like that, I know for a fact that I need to keep those ends trimmed, and, I need to do my deep conditioning treatments once a week. You just have to stay on the straight and narrow a little bit more when you're doing heat styling and coloring.
I love that. So what are some strategies you would give to listeners who are suffering from damage and breakage? What would you, in dryness, what some advice you would give to them?
Yeah, a lot of times with us that have curly hair, most of the times, I say 9 times out of 10 from what I've seen and just knowing the science behind it, is it's caused from a lack of moisture. It's not really caused from, not having enough protein. A lot of our products have protein in them. We need more moisture more than anything. So you just have to get yourself on a healthy hair routine. So if your hair is really, really damaged and breaking, and I've been through that and a lot of us have, you have to look at like how you're styling your hair. Number one, are you wearing weaves? Are you wearing like faux locks, braids, and things like that are putting tension on your scalp and causing your hair to become dry? If you are, I always recommend that you need to stop. If you're doing any chemical treatments like coloring, like we just talked about, or even heat styling, I recommend that you stop for at least 8 weeks or so, and then just flood your hair with moisture, just like what we were talking about earlier on in the conversation. Getting your hair underwater every single week, deep conditioning treatments, highly moisturizing products that have water in its first ingredient is going to be your go-to. And consistency is key. And when I meet my customer base, either at a vending event or, if I'm doing like microscopic consults, which I do a lot, the scalp consults, I'll hear, I deep condition my hair once a month. That's not enough. You need to, it's kind of like working out. You need to be consistent with your healthy hair routine, and you need to do it at the very least twice a month, but I always recommend 4 times a month, once a week, to really see the results that you want.
I love that. So for our listeners that are listening that have that problem, definitely take these tips that Dr. Isfahan is sharing with us to, have a better healthcare, healthy journey for is taking care of your hair. So, Dr. Isfahan, you have built multiple tables for yourself, and I ask all of my guests this question: how did you create your seat at the table?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it was very organic. I had a passion for something, number one. You always got to start with something that you love to do, because times are not going to always be jolly. You're going to have rough times, you're going to have good times, but you have to start with something that you have a passion with, a passion for. So that's number one. And then number two, just being resilient and persistent. You can't really get turned off by one failure, because you're going to have many failures and you're going to have many roadblocks, but you just have to try to analyze the failure, try to learn from it, and just move on. And I think that has been key to Alodia's success. And not only with Alodia, but just my success overall as a scientist, and just, moving forward with getting my Ph.D. and things like that. Just being very resilient and persistent.
I love that. And you have definitely created your seat, right? And you bought the table, basically. So thank you for all the great things that you are doing. So super congratulations on everything that you're doing. So
thank you.
What is next for Alodia?
Yeah, so we're really focused on creating products that our customers want. We're constantly doing customer surveys. We're big on customer service and just really valuing our customer, because we realize that without our customers, there is no Alodia. So we're constantly doing customer surveys and trying to get customer feedback. So from those conversations, we found that a lot of our customers are wanting products that help with like scalp health. They might have like itchy, dandruff kind of scalp, or what we call scalp dermatitis. So we're coming out with a new kit that will be out for Black Friday. It's called our Scalp Therapy Kit. We're very, very excited about that. And then we're also coming out with a lock kit, which was surprising to me, but through customer feedback, we found out that a lot of our customers have locks and they feel like they're not really supported in the natural hair community. So we're coming out with, I think, the very first lock kit that's on the market, and that will be coming out for Christmas. And we're also developing products that are going to help with like alopecias, because that's something that I do on the side, not really on the side, but I do here in scalp consults using a microscope in the D.C. area, and it's an epidemic in our community that women are losing their hair, and it's self-inflicted from the weaves and the braids and the faux locks and things like that. So we're kind of trying to come up with products for that as well. And then hopefully in 2020, maybe later on in the year, we'll be able to get into a retailer soon. So that's a couple of things that we're looking forward to. I'm really excited about it.
And I'm glad that you said something about alopecia. Could you talk more about that and what causes that? Because I think a lot of people are not really educated on that.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I feel that way too. And it's something that I'm really passionate about because I see the mental and the psychological toll that it takes on a woman. You know, we want to look good, even though hair is aesthetics, you know, but it still affects you mentally. And I'm really passionate about educating women on this. Now, alopecia, the myth is, I always hear from women, they'll be like, I have alopecia. But alopecia is actually a condition that has about 12 or 15 different subgroups. And it can range from, you know, scarring alopecia, which is more severe, to non-scarring alopecia, which is less severe and can be treated. And then it's different things that can cause alopecia, such as your genetics or autoimmune diseases can cause alopecia. So I really recommend that women go to see a board-certified dermatologist that is actually educated in treating like curly and coily hair types to really get to the root of the problem, because it's not just alopecia. It's actually you need to figure out what exactly is causing your alopecia so that it could be remedied. With Alodia, we more so, because we're a product, we more so have products that help with non-scarring types of alopecia. And those are like genetic alopecias and alopecia areata. I don't want to get too sciencey on your audience, but there are various forms of non-scarring alopecia that Alodia can help. But with scarring alopecia, you really need to see a dermatologist and get the treatment that is needed for that.
So thank you for sharing some light on that, because I do think that, you know, like we just talked about earlier, that people are not really educated on that. And so for our listeners that are listening, definitely do more research on that and just make sure you know the different types of, you know, different types of hair, different types of diseases that can happen through your hair if you don't take care of it. So that's so important.
And just one more thing to add, that a lot of the alopecia that I see is what we call self-inflicted alopecia, meaning that it's caused by the styling practices. So whether it be that you're putting a weave or braids extra tight and you're not giving your scalp and follicles a rest in between the installation, is what causes a large majority of the thinning that you see. So just be very conscious of like the styling and the hairstylist that's putting it in. You don't want them to put it in too tight, and you need to give your scalp at least a 6 to 8 week break in between installations of the weave or the braids and things like that.
Yes, that's so important, because I think, you know, as we all know, sometimes people leave the weave in too long or the braids in too long, and then it doesn't turn out right. But sometimes some people's hair does do okay with it, but it doesn't mean that's the right way to do it, you know?
Exactly.
So,
yep.
Yeah. So on your journey, you know, we all have a process, right? And a lot of people don't like the process, but it's part of the plan. So what did failure teach you, Dr. Isfahan, on your journey? I'm sorry, what did you say? What is failure? Yeah, what did failure teach you on your journey?
Oh, a lot. I kind of think of it so much because you know, I'm a scientist. I'm not seen as an entrepreneur, you know, so you make a lot of mistakes. But I guess I'm trying to think of the first thing that pops up in my head. I would say, I know this sounds kind of cliche, but like follow that gut feeling, follow your inner voice. When something doesn't sound right, do your due diligence. I tend to take adults at face value. So if they say, you know, I'm an expert in XYZ, you know, we're adults. I'm taking them at face value. But what I realized is I lost a lot of money in the beginning taking people at face value. So you really have to do your due diligence and make sure that you kind of have a tribe around you, people that you can go to as you're business bestie or, as a mentor and say, hey, I'm looking for this type of expert, because you do need a team. Do you have any recommendations? And then going off of those recommendations versus just taking people at their face value. I think that's something that pops up in my head. Because, of course, when you are a small business and you're starting, resources and capital is like paramount to your success. And you don't want to make too many failures that cost you a lot of money. And in the beginning, I did a lot of that. So I had to learn really, really quick on how to vet the contractors and the people that I partner with so that I'm not losing money and it advances the company forward. Because there's no way that you can have a successful company just by yourself. You have to partner with people and experts in the various fields that you need them. So that's just one of many, many different lessons that I learned.
And thank you for sharing that, because it's so important that you collaborate with the right people and that you're getting mentored and coached by people who are where you want to be and who are 10 steps ahead of you, right?
Exactly.
So I love that.
Yes.
So what did success teach you? Because you're very successful.
Yes, and I'm sorry, what did you say? I don't know why I'm not hearing you.
Okay. What did success teach you? Because you're very successful.
Oh. Yeah, I think success has taught me, that's a great question. I don't think anybody has asked me that before. But I think when I think of my successes that I've had, I think of all of the people that have helped me become successful. So I think you kind of see, people will read your bio, whether it's me or anyone else, because you have an impressive bio as well. And they congratulate you, but you're standing on so many people's shoulders, and so many people are like propping you up. And it just makes me very grateful when I see where I've come and I look back, because I'm a black girl from Brooklyn, New York. We're an urban environment, and I didn't come from like wealth and people that had a whole bunch of degrees, but I'm where I am at because people believed in me, whether it be my parents or, a professor that said, hey, you're pretty smart in science. You need to try out for XYZ, or someone that might have helped me in business. And that led to, little successes that have built up to where I'm at today. So, when I think of success, I just think of the people that have helped me get to where I'm at.
I love that. But thanks for sharing that, because that's so important that, that people, understand, to see the successes and the failures, right, of our success.
Exactly.
Such as yourself, to be able to understand that it's a journey and it's a process, and everybody goes through the process.
Yes, absolutely.
So what can we expect from you the rest of 2019? We're in the fourth quarter, Dr. Isfahan.
I know. I can't believe it.
You're gonna, I know you're going to finish strong.
Yes, and that's what we're trying to do. I was working up until the minute you told me to call in on my Black Friday. So just, sign up for our email newsletter and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. It's Alodia, A-L-O-D as in dog, I-A, Care. We'll be having a whole bunch of different sales coming up. And then just trying to end the year out strong is where I'm at right now. I'm about 3 weeks away from giving birth to my third child, so I got to build some time in to take care of myself and the baby. But, we're definitely trying to end 2019 strong. This has been an amazing year for us with Alodia. We're in our second year, and it's been truly a growth year for us. So, I'm just counting my blessings.
Well, congratulations on your baby.
Oh, thank you.
You are welcome, and, congratulations on everything else that you have going on. Like you said, I know you're going to finish it strong, and I cannot wait to see where you're about to take Alodia.
Oh, I appreciate that, Ashley. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. So please tell our listeners how they can follow you and connect with you on all social media platforms.
Sure. So we are mainly on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Like I said, I started on YouTube. And the name is Alodia. Once again, it's A-L-O-D as in dog, I-A, Care. And that's the name on all of the platforms. And then our website is www.alodiahaircare.com.
I love it. So please follow her and connect with her. She's definitely someone to know and connect with. And Dr. Isfahan, I want to thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule to come to the table tonight. This has been an amazing interview, and I cannot wait to invite you back.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. This has been an amazing talk.
Thank you so much, and I look forward to continuing to work with you in the future.
For sure. Take care.
You too. So I would like to give a special thanks to Tammy Collins-Marquis and John Schamberger. I would also like to give a special thanks to Author Kimberly McLemore and my intern, Sarah, from Tennessee State University, and my intern, Vontaria, from Winston-Salem State University. You all may follow me on Facebook at Ashley Little and on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Creating Your Seat at the Table, where Ashley speaks with corporate professionals, celebrities, entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers who are transitioning or have transitioned to entrepreneurship.